Oh dear, we must still be suffering under Mercury. I was 15 minutes into a reading, and I hadn't even pressed play. So I'll start again, because obviously what it was telling me was that I was waffling too much and that I must back it back a bit. So I'm a bit late this morning. The reason why is because I had two very, very strong visions this morning when I was waking up. I often just check in with Meister morning and when I first wake up at night before I go to sleep. Two very strong visions that I just needed processing before I came on to talk to you about them. Now, what the visions were, and I do apologise if I get a bit emotional, especially during this first one. The first vision was, now I don't know if you saw the opening ceremony for the Winter Olympics. Now, the Winter Olympics have been fantastic. I especially love the snowboarding. And what it was about, I'll just turn this internet off for the moment so it doesn't play at me while I'm recording. All right, there we go. What they showed during the opening ceremony was most dignitaries and world leaders did not go to China in protest of China's human rights abuses and mistreatment and you name it. But however, Vladimir Putin went, the leader of Russia. And they showed a vision of Putin up in the stand, sitting by himself with all his friends. There was nobody around him at all. He was in the stands. And Ukraine marched out into the arena. So this is what was actually happening. Ukraine marched out into the arena, waving their flag and their athletes following behind. And the media vision has shown that Putin put his head down, closed his eyes, and he looked like he nodded off. So there's a bit of, oh, he's fallen asleep, brushing off in the media. No, that wasn't the case. Putin is, he does not want to see, get a bit emotional about this, I do apologise, he does not want to see the Ukrainians as actual people. It then clouds his judgment, and that's why he just totally switched off from the fact that Ukraine was marching out and there were people there. To him, Ukraine is a tool and a method to get the West to the negotiating table. It is also to try and bolster his own support back in Russia. He made huge promises to the oligarchs that support him and the power brokers in Russia that support him that he could not fulfill due to Trump not getting re-elected. And so to him, the Ukraine is not people, it is a tool, and it has a purpose, and he wants to use that purpose. So he does not want to see them as actual people who love and cry and hope and despair and live and laugh, and he does not want to see them as actual people. So that's why he did that in the stand. It was very emotional, and I had actually got a glimmer of that when I saw the media footage, but it came so strong to me this morning as to the why. The second vision I got, very briefly, I'll try very briefly and then I'll do some readings, was of a old city, several hundred years old, like there are, largish town, probably not city size. The buildings were all stone with archways and corbels and balconies, etc., etc. Nothing higher than 1 to 2 stories high. Peter was walking down the street. I have no idea where it was, with the stone paving. And he turned off. It was a beautiful day, probably just after lunch. Sun was shining. And he turned off into an alleyway. Now again, sun was bright. It was not a dark alleyway. The buildings were low on either side. The cobblestones were quite round by this stage. They weren't round on the street, but they were round in the alleyway. And he was walking down a slope. Clear as day. Clear as anything. Not a care in the world. anyhow, so what happened is a young woman stepped out in front of him. A very attractive woman, slim, probably late 30s, dressed in a fitted tweed suit like they would wear back in the 1950s, the fitted calf-length pencil skirt with the fitted long-sleeve jacket. She had a blazer, and she had the hair was all smooth with a little curl under, and she had a beret on, and she had the cat's eye glasses that were very popular back in the 50s and 60s. She was wearing the cat's eye glasses. She stepped out in front of him, said nothing. He stopped. She pulled out a pistol and shot him in the head. He then disappeared. There was no blood, there was nothing collapsed on the ground or anything like that. He simply just was not there anymore. And in the ways of superheroes, for want of a better word, she then grabbed her jacket and stripped off the skirt and the jacket she was wearing, tossed aside the beret, grabbed her hair, put it up in a ponytail, and underneath she was wearing cargo pants and a t-shirt, a white t-shirt of all colours. I'm not too sure. I'm trying to process what I'm seeing of this, and what I'm actually getting from this is that Putin was carrying merrily along his way, thinking all was well with the world, and all of a sudden, gone. It was over with. And what he has been replaced with is a female leader who is young, vibrant, modern, dragging Russia from the 1950s mentality. Now, technology-wise, they're way ahead of that, but the dragging Russia from Putin's attempt to keep Russia in the Cold War under the thumb, the 1950s, you shall do what you are told mentality, and she drags, and she is now the new leader. Now, once she did her hair up and exposed the clothing she was wearing, and the vision finished. So I'll keep myself open for further stories on that, but I just found that extremely interesting given the current climate in Ukraine and around the world, and it does make me wonder whether Putin may be assassinated, entertainment purposes only, or whether he just leaves. He gets under such pressure, he just leaves. So, what I wanted to do, now that I've gone through those two visions, I'll just process the second one for a little while longer, because I have read on Putin quite extensively in the past. I wanted to have a look to see what Putin was doing in China. Apparently he had meetings with Xi Jinping, the leader of the Chinese Communist Party. And I just want to see, now what I did get, I looked up a bit of information, but what I did get was that they are displaying a united front. Wonder who's been offered what. Are displaying a united front to the world of an anti-West sentiment. There is talks about Russia supplying a gas pipeline to bring gas from Russia's eastern areas into China, so that China is no longer reliant on places like Australia for their energy. But I just want to have a look as to see the true reason. Now, what I'm getting is very strongly is that I have read on this before, they don't agree on their forms of communism. Two completely different forms of communism, they don't agree. They are talking because of the old adage of the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Is what came out very clearly. And here you've got the King of Wands, so these are the powerful people talking together, orating, making a plan. But I just want to have a quick look behind the scenes. What was, still damp, cards still sticking. What was Putin? What was the real reason Putin was in China? What was the real reason Putin was in China? The mercenary has popped out, being held hostage. So Russia's feeling like it's been held hostage by NATO. They want to continue on in their life of luxury. Right, that's what's popped out and was on the base. But what's the Meister? Flying out at me everywhere. Emotional overwhelming. I think the Russian people, I think, just they don't want to go to war with Ukraine. Three clarifiers. Oh, he's having to defend himself. He's being challenged. Why was Putin really in China? Oh, anxiety and secrets to be revealed, keeping something hidden. Making happy families. I'm down to the base. Those first four. So we've got an emotional overwhelming. This is almost unsure of what to do with this opportunity they've been given. It's about new relationships, new partnerships. So I'm seeing this as Putin attempting to build a relationship with China. As on the home front, he's having to defend himself. He's very anxious about what's happening in Russia at the moment. I just got the he throws me when he does this because I'm on a tangent, but I did ask him to tell me when I'm in a reading when something needs to be said. I just got the flash that he feels like he's not in control at the moment. This is Putin. He feels like he's not in control. There are things happening that he is not privy to. It's also about playing happy families and trying to engage in financial security. So this is the base of the pack, trying to play happy families and engage in financial security for Russia, followed by the Tower card. So Putin is feeling like he's not actually in control of what is going on in Russia at the moment. And this okay. And what he's doing at the Ukrainian border is him trying to portray this illusion of control. So he's in China trying to make good, happy families, trying to come together with a circle of support. Right, so is Putin... So China has apparently, Xi Jinping has said that they will support Russia amid sanctions. So what's in it for China? Tell me, what's in it for China? So at the moment I'm getting Putin's desperate. But what's in it for China? What's in the relationship with Russia? What's in it for China? What's in it for China? Page of Swords. Okay, let's keep going. Murky underbelly. Things that are coming to the surface. Going out on a limb, they see Putin as foolish. And it's all about domestic security, financial security. And then conflict, not wanting conflict. And then you've got the messenger with the money. So this Page of Swords is, he's the messenger of a truth, and he's being curious. He's bringing forward a curiosity. Starting a new journey. So I think China, and then we've got the mercenary again. And the holding hostage, life of luxury, but being stabbed in the heart, heartbreak, despair, not working, and then an inevitable ending. So I think what's happened is that the Chinese government are curious to test the waters as to how it will be perceived on the world stage for them to become an ally and offer support to Russia. But it is destined to be, so what is happening is literally China is using Russia, using them in their moment of desperation. Okay. Page of Swords telling me, yes, I got that right. I got the curiosity right. It's not about uncovering a truth. It's not about bringing forward a truth. It is purely about, okay, what if we do this? So, okay, that seems like a very one-sided relationship. So I shall just do, so we're up to 17 minutes already, a full Celtic cross on the future of the relationship between China and Russia. Now, understanding economically, the US is worth significantly more to China than Russia could ever be. So I'm getting that China is simply testing the waters. Russia's not the superpower it used to be. Likes to think it is, but it's not. So China is simply testing the waters, whereas the Putin himself is, okay, flailing is the word I was told. Right, okay, full Celtic cross. Tell me about where this relationship will between China and Russia, where will it go? Okay, what I'm being told, sorry, I'm getting a lot of being tolds today, is that China is wanting Russia to distract the US and become the news cycle, while China does whatever over here with Hong Kong and Taiwan. I'm seeing this. Look at this hand over here. Well, this one's over here doing something off screen. So, okay, full Celtic cross. The future of the relationship between China and Russia. Future of the relationship. We're at a crossroads. Difficult decisions to be made. Future relationship. The future of the relationship between China and Russia. The future of the relationship between China and Russia. After all, it flew out. I've got the anxiety card at the bottom, and this one's popped up at the, dropped out before. I thought, oh, maybe not, but it's dropped out again, and it's about the voter. You've got government, Russia, the military strength, Russia. right? So that's what China is offering Russia, is the illusion of military strength. Okay. Tell me about the future, or the perception, not so much perception. Tell me about the future. First card out. This is, I got my microphone there. I'm trying to have it a little bit closer. I gather when I talk quietly or I turn my head away, it can be a little quiet. 10 of Swords, crossed by the devil. I don't know if I need to go any further. This is the future of Russia and China. Foundation of the reading, we've got this King of Swords. Assertive, determined. China. In the past, we have the past in the past. The past is the past is the past, a wishing for the past of how it was, of both empires being mighty and powerful and strong. Page of Wands is the crowning the reading, also the potential future. So what we've got here is messages coming forward fairly quickly. Not necessarily truthful. And then we've got the Page of Swords, whereas this is the immediate future. This is, it's not a king it's or a queen. The king's already come out. This is just a page. So this is an immature relationship flexing their steel out of curiosity. There we have Russia, which is the external influence. The internal influence is strength. I shuffled these cards so well. The internal influence is strength, but it's about taking control. Taking control of Russia. Wow, okay, hopes and fears. An offer being made. So what each country actually has, they're perceiving as not enough. They want full glory. So they're being made, there's an offer being made back and forth. Neither of them are particularly happy with it. Things are going to happen very quickly, but it's also going to occur chaotically, out of control, giving and receiving help. And then the Queen of Swords. She's this figure of the vision. I've read on her before. I think she might be Yulia Navalny, Alexei's wife. One more. Temperance, a restoration of balance. Rebalancing, moderation, being grounded. And this is what she will bring to the situation. I'm not seeing the Death card. I'm not seeing Putin being ousted. Wondering whether China is going to, I'll draw some clarifiers on that. On the base, we've got the Emperor, which is Putin, walking away from relationships as it all comes too hard. Just put those to the side. I'm going to read on this outcome. Is this outcome indicating the end of Putin, that China's actually going to be backing a new leader? What do these outcome cards mean? 4 cards, please. What do these outcome cards mean? What do these outcome cards mean? Using my Rider-Waite Tarot. But this is the relationship currently. This is the outcome. Queen of Swords and moderation. Clarification on this outcome, please. Oops. There's Russia again, the Empress. But Mother Russia, oh, flinging out at me. She's the Queen of Swords. There she is again. Full illumination. There's your Tower. Bringing forward the change extremely quickly. Putin's anxious. In regards to the flow of the dark money. Got this Page of Swords here again, but this one is actually a bringing forward of the truth. Retreat, and here's your Devil again, and there's your walking away again. So that's quite strongly clarifying for me that Putin is desperate and is trying. This hand's doing this, this hand's doing that. Both China and Russia lament the loss of their empire-ishness. China was once upon a time the most powerful country in the world, and it's trying to get back to that through other methods. Doesn't want to go into battle. So China is being curious. The Chinese are being curious as to what will happen. If we try this, what will happen? They've got nothing to lose. Oh, base of the pack. There's your Death card. Doesn't necessarily mean death, just endings and beginnings, followed by a new emotional start, a new relationship start, as things are then reviewed. But that's how I am reading these cards. This is the energies of today. It will be interesting to see how this progresses, but the end result is an offer being made and being rejected. Chaos, very fast, out of control chaos ensuing. The giving of help to this new female leader who will restore balance. Okay, see how it plays out. Catch you later. Love to you all. Stay safe. Look after yourselves. Take care.